Many achievements were made in terms of economic development, poverty reduction, minimization of wars and cataclysm that could have happened without the United Nations. The humanity explored this space and even can hold UN sessions remotely with the assistance of modern technologies. Speaking the language of these technologies, the UN has become software that saved the world the critical errors. At the same time, we have to acknowledge that the system is getting glitched too often. It is attacked by new bugs, viruses, and their containment is not always efficient. I'm saying it as the head of state in which, in 21st century, the Russian Federation annexed the Crimean Peninsula, the country which has been contained in its military aggression in Donbass. What sentiments would the founders of the United Nations have had they known that 75 years later in the center of Europe there would be war, that in Crimea human rights are flagrantly violated, that persecutions of Ukrainians and Crimean Tatars are taking place, that militarization of the peninsula is built, and sea areas around it that violates and breaches security balance of the Black Sea region? Would they change something in the UN Charter and mechanism of the United Nations had they known that as a result of 75 years after, as a result of the war in Donbass, would claim 14,000 lives and 1.5 million of people would lose their homes? Undoubtedly, for the last year we proved that Ukraine really strives for peace. We managed to unblock the dialogue. We resumed meetings of the normative format leaders. We made substantial progress in mutual release of the detained people, and from 27th of July there is in place a comprehensive ceasefire which, despite the attempts to disrupt it, gives hopes to achieve sustainable peace. And it is urgently needed to keep moving towards real and genuine peace. Next steps on this way should be the withdrawal of unlawful military formations and armaments from the occupied territories, reinstatement of control over the state border, and finally, restoring territorial integrity of Ukraine within the internationally recognized borders. We are grateful to our international partners for the assistance and support on this difficult way, and we hope for the further unity of the international community on the matter, and I'm convinced that restoring sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine, coupled with respect to the international role, an important role should be played exactly by the United Nations, and to this end we need to improve the existing mechanism. It is unacceptable that sovereignty of the independent country is violated by one of the permanent members of the UN Security Council. It proves finally that mechanism of 1945 today do not work to the full extent. All this can bring about the further depreciation of the Security Council. Ukraine will actively participate in its reformation. This body should become more representative, balanced, transparent and efficient. It is in the interest of the United Nations to have an effective instrument if somebody comes to violate and abuse the right of veto and the status of the permanent member. Besides, I want to invite our friends to join the establishment of the International Crimean Platform for concerted actions to protect the rights of the Crimeans and the occupation of the peninsula. I also call on support of the renewed resolution situation with human rights in the Autonomous Republic of Crimea and the city of Sevastopol, Ukraine, that will be submitted to the General Assembly by the end of this year. The country had they known that, and the most important, the case of Crimea and Donbass should not become customary element of the international landscape where reports, conferences and protocol statements to the anniversary of occupation would be taken as sufficient form of international reaction. Conversely, until the wound in the center of Europe is bleeding, the pain will be felt the world over, and the only recipe for the efficient treatment is the deoccupation of Crimea and Donbass.